Hey guys, it's Cole with Bespoke Homes. Howard and I have had another busy week over here at the project on 190th Avenue. As we do our tour today, I'm going to bust through a few different things. The trades have all been here. So you're, again, like last week, this phase is not that exciting in a lot of ways, but it really is a phase where a lot of things are coming together. That's all the stuff behind the walls, and it's super important. So let's get cracking on this, and we'll walk you through here. Howard's been working on the floor. You can see that in this area on the video that we talked on our very first video. We had a pretty big difference in different areas on the floor. You can see that the old 4x6 floor joist ran here. And this was that area that they had a mud set tile. And so they didn't really care how they put the subfloor in. Now that we're gonna put hardwood over this, we're not only going over this, but we're also putting in a few little sleepers here to pick up some additional mid-span bearing. We want to make sure that there's no squeaks in this floor. And the reality is, once this floor is in and the hardwood's in, we cannot get any access up to this without really doing a lot of work. So we want to make sure it's done right the first time. Also this week, we had some engineering done. Next week, we're going to be putting in a great big 1.75" by 16" piece of LVL laminated veneer lumber. If you see here, we've already prepped. We've got two 2x4s that are going to sit underneath those 2x16 pieces of LVL. And they're actually going to run all the way down to the far end of this roof. And what it's doing is it's picking up some additional bearing and support for these ceiling joists. You can see up here that when we took out this wall right through here, this wall was a bearing wall. And you can see right here, right there, these are some purlin studs, and what they do is they help support the actual roof joists. And then also, you can't really see them, but back in here, let me see if you can get up in there. Yeah, there you go. That's the end of a 2x12 right here that used to be picking up some bearing on the end of this wall. That 2x12 also actually has some little pieces of 2x4 that used to come down and tie into the floor joists, or excuse me, the ceiling joists, and actually provided support, because the span is about 28 feet, which is way too long for a 2x6 without any mid-span bearing. The HVAC guys were here obviously all week. We've got the downdraft in for the island. It vents up over to here, and then it shoots back behind the wall that we built over here. You can actually see that it comes up back behind the fireplace. One thing is, anytime you have a wall like this, it's a double wall because we needed that additional space. If you look up in the top up there, you're going to see a piece of OSB. That's called a draft stop. It ensures that if there's any kind of fire that what happened in this wall, that it doesn't shoot straight up and right into the attic. So we'll make sure this little area where we have all the electricians been working, that will all have fire foam put into it, which is basically this funky looking stuff. But anyway, so we've been hard at it with the electrical this week as well. You can see the plumber has a lot of his work done now too. All the supply lines are in. You can see that we're actually replacing the old galvanized drains as well. You can see it comes up here, and it actually has a Fernco fitting, which is that rubberized fitting that connects the ABS over to the old galvanized. And the reality is the vents don't really need to be replaced, because all they do is provide atmospheric pressure to ensure that everything drains properly. This is the area that Howard was working on most of the week. Not most of the week, last couple days. Make Howard sound like he hasn't been working. He's been working hard. But you can see the floor, he's been doing a great job getting all of that in. And the same thing back in here. Same tour. Plumbers went ahead and did the same thing. All the drains are being replaced with ABS. You can see there's another one of those Fernco fittings. So a lot of times, I would say that's one of the number one things a lot of homeowners, DIYers, that they don't really know what to do on how to adapt to a galvanized system if they're replacing with ABS. It's as simple as that, just basically a rubberized fitting with some worm drive screw clamps on there. They've got everything all roughed in. Over here you can see they just got a few more drains to go. All the water supplies are up in the wall, at least they're prepped, and they got a few more lines to run. We're not going to go back into the master because it's the same idea as what's going on there. We will take a look real quick out here. The HVAC contractor, they are completely done with getting the new furnace in. You can see they did a great job as far as taping that off, getting everything buttoned up. I watched them for a couple hours actually, and they were quite meticulous, which is always a good sign. Again, it's those things that, really, does it matter that the tape is done well and it looks nice? Perhaps not, but at the end of the day, somebody that takes pride in their work, you can rest assured the things that you don't see are just as good for the most part. So you guys, that's kind of the tour this week. Next week, we'll be running all of those beams in for that bearing wall that we took out. It's going to be quite a process. We have two 24-foot beams to put up in the attic, two 18-foot beams, and two 16-foot beams. So we're going to be doing a lot of work next week. Towards the end of next week, we should have our permit and be able to get all of that signed off. And from that point, you guys, my plan is that by the beginning of the following week, we're going to have our tile guy in here. He's going to be working, so you're going to see a lot of things really start coming together. Our drywaller is going to be in here, and this project should really start coming together. So we're excited to keep having you guys follow along, and we will see you next Friday. Howard and I are going to the football game out in Canby tonight. So you guys have a great weekend, and we will see you next Friday.